Have you ever found yourself lying awake at 3 a.m., your mind racing with the same thoughts over and over? Maybe you're replaying that awkward conversation from earlier today, or worrying about a meeting next week that probably won't go as badly as you're imagining. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. The average person has about 6,000 thoughts per day, but for overthinkers, it can feel like 6,000 versions of the same anxious thought. Welcome to today's exploration of one of the most common mental struggles of our time, overthinking. Today's video isn't just another collection of quick fixes. We are going to dive deep into understanding what's really happening in your brain when you overthink. Explore the surprising psychological mechanisms driving this pattern, and most importantly, walk through practical, science-backed strategies that can help you break free from this mental trap. Before we continue, I want to share something personal. My interest in this topic isn't purely professional. For years, I was what you might call a professional overthinker. My mind was constantly analyzing, worrying, and replaying scenarios, both past and future. It was exhausting, and it stole so much joy from my daily experiences. The techniques we'll discuss today are the same ones that helped me transform my relationship with my thoughts, and I've refined them through years of clinical practice. If you're watching this video, chances are you're ready for a change. So let's begin this journey toward mental peace together. Let's start by understanding what's actually happening when we overthink. Contrary to popular belief, overthinking isn't just thinking too much. It's a specific pattern of thought characterized by repetitive, unproductive worry or rumination. Psychologically speaking, overthinking typically takes two forms. First, there's rumination, the tendency to continuously think about past events, problems, or negative experiences. It's like watching the same uncomfortable movie scene over and over in your mind. I can't believe I said that in the meeting. Why did I react that way? What if I had made a different choice? The second form is worry, the projection of negative possibilities into the future. What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if everything goes wrong? Both of these thought patterns share something important. They create the illusion of problem solving without actually solving anything. Your brain thinks it's being productive by analyzing these scenarios, but in reality, it's just spinning its wheels. Now, here's something fascinating about overthinking from a neurological perspective. When you overthink, your brain's amygdala, the emotion processing center, becomes hyperactive. This triggers your body's stress response, releasing cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate increases, your muscles tense, and your breathing becomes shallow. Your body literally prepares for danger, even though the threat is only in your mind. At the same time, studies using functional MRI have shown that overthinking activates your default mode network, the brain regions that become active when you're not focused on the outside world. This network is associated with self-referential thinking and mind-wandering. Essentially, your brain gets stuck in an internal loop. But here's the question many people never ask. Why do we overthink in the first place? The answer might surprise you. Overthinking is actually an attempt at control. When faced with uncertainty or potential negative outcomes, your brain tries to protect you by preparing for every possible scenario. It's a survival mechanism that's gone into overdrive. In prehistoric times, this vigilance kept us alive. Constantly scanning for threats and analyzing past dangerous situations helped our ancestors survive. But in today's world, this same mechanism often becomes maladaptive, focusing on social rejections, professional setbacks, or hypothetical problems that may never materialize. Understanding this evolutionary purpose helps us approach overthinking with compassion rather than frustration. Your brain isn't trying to torture you. It's trying, albeit ineffectively, to keep you safe. Let's meet Sarah, a marketing executive who came to me for help with overthinking. After a minor criticism in a performance review, Sarah spent weeks analyzing every interaction with her boss, staying up late rehearsing future conversations, and questioning her career choices. This pattern wasn't just mentally exhausting. It was affecting her current performance, creating the very problem she feared. Sarah's story illustrates how overthinking creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. The mental energy consumed by rumination and worry leaves less bandwidth for presence, creativity, and actual problem solving. It's like trying to drive with one foot on the gas and one on the brake. You burn fuel but don't make progress. Now that we understand what overthinking is, let's explore its impact on our lives. The costs of chronic overthinking extend far beyond occasional mental discomfort. Let me tell you about Miguel, a talented artist who came to therapy because he couldn't finish any projects. He'd start each painting with enthusiasm, but as the work progressed, he'd become consumed with doubt. Is this good enough? What will people think? Should I change the composition? He'd analyze each brushstroke until the joy of creation disappeared entirely. When we explored the roots of Miguel's overthinking, we discovered that a harsh critique early in his career had planted a seed of self-doubt. His overthinking was an attempt to protect himself from future criticism, but instead, it was preventing him from creating at all. Miguel's story reflects research published in the Journal of Abnormal Psychology, showing that overthinking significantly impairs problem-solving abilities. When we overthink, we actually become less effective at finding solutions, not more. But the impacts extend beyond productivity. Chronic overthinking has been linked to sleep disruption, as ruminating thoughts keep us awake or diminish sleep quality, increased anxiety and depression. As we become trapped in negative thought patterns, impaired immune function, as stress hormones remain elevated, reduced decision-making ability, as we become paralyzed by endless analysis, strained relationships, as we either withdraw or seek excessive reassurance. Perhaps most significantly, overthinking steals our experience of the present moment. When your mind is constantly in the past or future, you miss the only time you can actually live, now. I witnessed this with Elena, a mother who came to therapy because she couldn't enjoy time with her children. While physically present at soccer games or family dinners, her mind was always elsewhere, replaying work conversations or anticipating future problems. I feel like I'm missing my children's childhood even though I'm right there, she told me. This phenomenon, which psychologists call present absence, is one of overthinking's cruelest tricks. You can physically experience something while being mentally absent, creating memories of events you never fully experienced. The question becomes, how much of your life are you willing to miss because your mind is stuck elsewhere? A study from Harvard University found that people spend about 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're doing. But here's the kicker. The same research found that mind-wandering was consistently associated with decreased happiness. Simply put, when our minds are not in the present, we enjoy life less. This brings us to a profound realization. Overthinking isn't just a mental habit. It's a thief of joy, presence, and potential. By understanding these costs, we create motivation for change. Because breaking free from overthinking isn't just about reducing anxiety, it's about reclaiming your life. Before we dive into solutions, let's clear up some common misconceptions about overthinking. These myths often keep people trapped in unproductive thought patterns. Myth 1. Overthinking helps prevent problems. Many overthinkers believe their habit helps them avoid disasters. If I think through every possibility, I'll be prepared for anything, the logic goes. But research tells a different story. A study published in the Journal of Cognitive Psychology found that overthinking actually reduces accuracy in predictions about future events. The more scenarios you imagine, the less likely you are to correctly identify what will actually happen. This is because overthinking often catastrophizes, focusing disproportionately on unlikely negative outcomes. Think about it. How often have your worst-case scenarios actually come true? And of those real challenges you faced, how many did you actually predict correctly through overthinking? The reality is that overthinking creates an illusion of control without providing actual control. As one of my clients put it, I spent more time worrying about disasters that never happened than dealing with the actual surprises life threw at me. Myth 2. Overthinking is the same as problem solving. This is perhaps the most persistent myth. Many overthinkers believe they're being productive when they analyze situations repeatedly. But genuine problem solving has distinct characteristics that overthinking lacks. True problem solving is goal-directed and focused on solutions, time-limited and action-oriented, open to new information and perspectives. Overthinking, by contrast, is circular and repetitive, focused on problems rather than solutions, resistant to new perspectives, often continues long after any useful insights have emerged. Here's a simple test. After 10 minutes of thinking about your concern, do you have any new insights or action steps? If not, you've probably crossed from problem solving into overthinking. Now that we understand what overthinking is and isn't, let's explore how to break free from this pattern. The good news from psychological research is clear. Overthinking habits can be changed with consistent practice and the right techniques. The key insight that changed my approach to treating overthinking came from acceptance and commitment therapy. It's this. The goal isn't to stop thinking entirely or never have worried thoughts. The goal is to change your relationship with those thoughts. This distinction is crucial. Many overthinking solutions fail because they try to eliminate thoughts, which often paradoxically makes them stronger. Instead, effective approaches focus on how we relate to our thoughts. Let me share 7 evidence-based strategies that have helped hundreds of my clients break free from overthinking. Strategy 1. Practice metacognitive awareness. This fancy term simply means thinking about your thinking. It involves learning to observe your thoughts without becoming entangled in them. Start by noticing when overthinking begins. What triggered it? What physical sensations accompany it? Just this simple act of observation creates distance between you and your thoughts. Try this exercise. When you catch yourself overthinking, silently label it. I notice I'm having thoughts about that meeting tomorrow. This small shift from I'm going to fail at the meeting to I notice I'm having thoughts about failing creates crucial mental space. Strategy 2. Schedule worry time. This counterintuitive technique from cognitive behavioral therapy is remarkably effective. Set aside 15-20 minutes each day as designated worry time. When overthinking arises outside this period, gently remind yourself, I'll think about this during my worry time, and return to the present. When worry time arrives, sit down and actively engage with your concerns. Write them down, explore them fully. Often, you'll find that many worries that seemed urgent earlier no longer feel important, or solutions become clearer when approached deliberately rather than reactively. Strategy 3. Challenge thought distortions. Overthinking often involves cognitive distortions, predictable ways our thinking becomes skewed. Common distortions include catastrophizing, assuming the worst possible outcomes, mind reading, believing you know what others are thinking, all or nothing thinking, seeing situations in black and white terms, emotional reasoning, I feel anxious, so the situation must be dangerous. When you catch these distortions, challenge them with simple questions. What evidence supports this thought? What would I tell a friend who had this worry? What's a more balanced perspective? Remember, Alex, a client who was convinced his silence in meetings meant colleagues thought he was incompetent? When he actually gathered evidence by asking for feedback, he discovered they viewed him as thoughtful and valued his contributions when he did speak. Reality was far kinder than his assumptions. Strategy 4. Break the physical cycle. Remember how we discussed the physical components of overthinking. Your body and mind are connected in a feedback loop. Breaking the physical pattern can interrupt the mental one. When overthinking strikes, change your physical environment, step outside, or move to another room. Engage in brief physical activity. Even 2 minutes of movement shifts your state. Practice box breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. These interventions work because they disrupt the physical stress response that fuels overthinking. They quite literally reset your nervous system. Strategy 5. Employ the 5 years question. When overthinking about a particular situation, ask yourself, will this matter in 5 years? This question immediately provides perspective, helping you recognize which concerns deserve your mental energy and which don't. For most daily worries, the honest answer is no. Even for significant events, the aspects we overthink are rarely what remain important years later. Strategy 6. Practice thought diffusion. This technique from acceptance and commitment therapy helps separate you from unhelpful thoughts without fighting them. Try these approaches. Thank your mind. Thanks for trying to protect me, mind, but I don't need this thought right now. Use visualization. Imagine placing your thoughts on leaves floating down a stream or clouds passing across the sky. Change the voice. Replay the worried thought in a cartoon character's voice or sing it to a familiar tune. These methods might sound simplistic, but they're based on sophisticated psychological principles that help break the spell of overwhelming thoughts. Strategy 7. Activate the thinking brain. Overthinking often happens when our emotional brain hijacks our thinking processes. Engaging your prefrontal cortex, the rational thinking part of your brain, can help regain balance. Effective ways to activate your thinking brain include writing your thoughts down. This externalizes them and engages different neural pathways. Solving a simple puzzle or brain teaser. Even a few minutes redirects mental resources. Explaining your concern to yourself, as if teaching someone else. This organizes thoughts logically. Remember Maria, who struggled with overthinking about her relationship? When she started journaling her concerns rather than mentally cycling through them, she noticed patterns she hadn't seen before. This written perspective helped her distinguish between genuine relationship issues and insecurities from past experiences. These 7 strategies create a toolkit you can use to gradually change your relationship with overthinking. But implementing them effectively requires understanding one more crucial principle: progress, not perfection. Now that we've explored specific techniques, let's talk about how to build them into a sustainable practice. Because here's the truth that many experts don't emphasize enough. Overcoming overthinking isn't a one-time achievement, but an ongoing practice. Think of it like physical fitness. You wouldn't expect to get in shape after one workout, and you wouldn't expect to stay in shape if you stopped exercising. Similarly, mental habits require consistent attention. Here's a framework I've developed with clients to create lasting change. Step 1. Start with awareness. For the first week, focus solely on noticing when you overthink. Don't try to change anything yet. Just observe the pattern. When does overthinking typically start for you? Morning? Evening? After certain interactions? What topics trigger it most frequently? Create a simple tracking system. Perhaps a note on your phone or small journal. Each time you catch yourself overthinking, make a quick note about when, where, and what triggered it. This baseline awareness serves 2 purposes. It shows you the true extent of the habit, and it begins training your mind to recognize overthinking as it happens, rather than hours later. Step 2. Choose your foundation strategy. From the 7 strategies we discussed, select one that resonates most with you. Don't try to implement everything at once. This often leads to overwhelm and abandonment of the practice. For the next 2 weeks, focus exclusively on mastering this one technique. Whether it's scheduled worry time, thought diffusion, or another approach, give it your full attention and practice daily. Step 3. Build your personalized system. Once you're comfortable with your foundation strategy, gradually incorporate additional techniques based on your specific overthinking patterns. For example, if you overthink most at night, focus on pre-bedtime routines that calm your mind. If social situations trigger overthinking, prioritize techniques you can discreetly use in those contexts. If work decisions cause rumination, implement structured decision-making frameworks. The goal is a personalized system of 3-4 core practices that address your unique overthinking patterns. Step 4. Plan for setbacks. Every client I've worked with experiences setbacks in their journey. The difference between those who succeed long-term and those who don't is simple. Successful clients anticipate and plan for these challenges. Identify your potential triggers for increased overthinking: stress, lack of sleep, conflict, major life changes. Then create specific plans for these high-risk periods. This might mean increasing certain practices, reaching out for support, or temporarily adjusting expectations. Remember James, an executive who made excellent progress with his overthinking until tax season increased his workload? Because we had prepared for this challenge, he immediately implemented his stress response plan, doubling his daily meditation, scheduling worry time twice daily, and briefly postponing non-urgent decisions. This preparation prevented a complete return to old patterns. As we reach the end of our exploration, I want to share a profound realization that changed my perspective on overthinking. The goal isn't a perfectly quiet mind. It's a mind that serves your life rather than constrains it. Think about this. Your mind is an incredible tool that evolved over millions of years to help you survive. It's designed to scan for problems, remember dangers, and anticipate threats. When it overthinks, it's actually trying to protect you. It's just using outdated strategies in a modern world. This understanding allows us to approach overthinking with compassion rather than frustration. Your mind isn't broken, it's just overprotective. With gentle persistence, you can teach it new ways to serve you better. Remember the clients we discussed today: Miguel, who couldn't complete his art; Elena, who missed moments with her children; Sarah, who undermined her work performance through constant analysis. All of them eventually experienced significant shifts in their relationship with thinking. Miguel completed his first collection in years and described feeling reunited with the joy of creation. Elena reported truly experiencing her daughter's soccer game. "I not only saw her score, I felt the excitement of the moment instead of planning dinner in my head." Sarah received her first promotion in 3 years after breaking free from the performance anxiety that had held her back. These transformations didn't come from eliminating thoughts, but from changing their relationship with thinking. They learned to treat thoughts as mental events, not absolute truths that demanded attention. As you move forward from this video, I invite you to start your own journey with just one small step. Perhaps it's 5 minutes of daily metacognitive awareness, or trying scheduled worry time for a week. Choose one practice that resonated with you, and commit to it consistently. Remember that small changes, applied consistently, create remarkable transformations over time. Your mind has been practicing overthinking for years. Be patient as you teach it new patterns. If you found value in today's exploration, please share this video with someone who might benefit. Overthinking is one of the most common mental struggles of our time, yet many people suffer in silence, believing it's just how they are. Thank you for joining me today on this journey toward mental peace.